Okay, so we're with the Elite Builders in Sedona. And if you ever go on a hike, here's what to look for if you get bit by a snake. So labial bars, non-venomous, it's harmless, won't hurt you. If there's no labial bars and a square head and you have 2 marks, that was a fang, and it could be a dry bite if there's nothing on your leg. If it's a little bit wet, you're injected with venom. But don't freak out, you have plenty of time, you can go to the hospital. For more snake facts, hit me up.
Wow. Educational.
I think it's good for culture building, you know? I mean, how many times do I get to say I go on a walk with Jessica Nelson, you know? The Jessica Nelson, right?
How you feel about that, Jessica?
I mean, I'm here with the JLM, so what could be bad? What could be worse, better than that?
I think it's gonna be fun.
How's it been being partnered together?
Well, it's pretty amazing. He's helping me, take down a 23 home community. The builder reached out and wanted to see a brokerage in Texas that was backed by a California presence. And that's obvious, but what he helped me with was a lot of tools that I wouldn't have been aware of had he not been my partner. So yeah, there's a ton of value here.
Yeah. Is he available to the people in your organization?
I honestly don't know how he's a father of 2 and does like millions of dollars of business and always answers our calls. It's pretty amazing.
It's crazy because I make it a point whenever I get something from them to be like, yeah, I can make it work. And I'll work whatever I have to work on my end to try to make it work.
Yeah.
It's good. It's funny because that's actually one of the questions I get asked the most. They're like, hey, look, are you just like gonna onboard me and like never talk to me again? And I'm like,
really?
Nah. Yeah, it's a concern for people. And I think it's a concern because it's so natural in the industry that people will promise certain things and then not deliver them. So it's almost like they're having like PTSD that hey, they had that experience before, so they're just like, hey, is this gonna happen again, basically?
Yeah.
Or are you guys actually gonna be available? Are you actually gonna deliver? Are you gonna teach me what you're saying that you're gonna teach me? And it's crazy because even in your end, you've seen the transformation from some people in your org, like how they come into the organization, haven't sold a single property. You've got agents that have done lots of deals, so.
Absolutely. I think, how do you overcome when that's like such a significant fear to them? Because they're pretty much just going on faith, believing you what you say.
What I tell them is, I'm like, look, like, obviously, like, you don't know me, so like you obviously don't know that aspect of me, but if you look at our online reviews, because sellers have the same concern for us. They have the same concern, like, hey, look, are you just gonna pass me on to somebody else?
Right.
And if you look at the online reviews that we have, we don't have anybody ever saying, hey, look, or like Jose just signed up the listing and never talked to me ever again.
Right.
And the way I believe is the way you build one thing is kind of the way you build a lot of things. Meaning, like, if that's the type of person that you are, that you're just gonna like overpromise and underdeliver, you're gonna do that in different areas of your life. Versus if you're always the person that, hey, look, whatever you promise you deliver on, then regardless of what you build, whether it's EXP, it's a real estate company, that's how you're gonna build it. So I basically asked for a little bit of trust. Hey, look, I know you don't know me, but look, if that were the case, you'd have some people online saying some negative things about me, And then in some cases, I even say, hey, look, if that's happened to you, be the first one to leave a review like that,
So none of the agents that have ever partnered with you have ever been able to say that.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess you also have 490 or 500 reviews that you could.
Yeah, that people could, even on the seller side, people will say that like, oh, like he's gonna be too busy for you. He's gonna pass you on to like assistants. You're not gonna deal with him direct, and that's not the reality,
Yeah, that's definitely not been my reality. He's always been here to help us. My whole work too. People that are like in his 6th line, he doesn't treat them any differently than his first. Do you hear that a lot?
About the different lines? Yeah, sometimes. But it's just like, to us, it makes no difference. Or at least I don't look at it as something different.
We had a gentleman in my org that didn't want to join the agent that told him about us. Because that agent was like in my 5th line and Aaron's 6th. And he felt like, well, if I join him, then Aaron's not going to help me. Or JLM won't help me.
That's not the way. Yeah, we don't look at it that way. We look at it that if you're in the org, we're going to help you regardless.
Yeah, that's
long-term thinking.
Yes.
Because there's people that are in my org that aren't part of Aaron's org. And Aaron still does the same exact thing for them.
Yeah.
Even though they're not in his org. And then there's people now that are going to be in his org because he's doing co-sponsorship. And I'm still like, hey, look, like we're partners, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like long-term thinking too, you know? Because I think if you start like nickel and diming things, it doesn't end well.
People can feel that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
When you were giving your presentation about the solutions that you have for sellers, the first thing I thought of is that you're talking to them like when people are getting divorced and going to the attorney, like, hey, what's the next step?
Yeah.
That's how you're advising them. And it's an entirely different conversation. You know, you're not selling, you're just,
Being very consultative.
yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy.
an advisor.
Yeah, and I've been in multiple selling situations where the people are like, dude, nobody has ever shared this with me. Ever. Look at that. Look at that. Pictures and everything.
Wow.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's actually
Wow. The light is amazing.
It is really cool right now.